Recently we were asked by our friends at the beautiful restaurant The Hispanist Hull if we could make them some outside dining tables from reclaimed whiskey barrels, and of course we said yes. The first task was to clean 50 years worth of grime off them and give them a good sand down. Jacob used a small blowtorch to touch up some areas where the bands had slipped. This was to blend the wood colours better. Expectedly, the bands had years of wear and tear, so we decided to spray them black. Jacob applied 2 primer coats, followed by 3 top coats. The oak got protected by some masking tape and old paper, as we're going to wax the oak later. We're just trying to get the best match on these reclaimed pine boards, and some of them don't go together that well. So what we're doing is we're just marking where they touch. So this is where it's touching this board, and then as you can see here, there's a gap, and then touching again there. So if I take this board out and then remove a little bit of material from this area, and then a little bit from here, retry them. Can always remove a little bit more if needed. And there you go, that's a lot better. Still a tiny gap there, but now that the clamps won't close. This one was the same. Now let's have a look. Pull them all together. We need to put a fresh edge on this one as well, I think. Jacob can biscuit joint these now. That'll keep everything more or less flush. So Jacob just said to me, have you turned all the boards the right way around? I said, no. He said, why not? I said, because I just took the biscuits out, you turned the boards the right way around. But he didn't, he turned them half one way, half the other. Is he actually going to do out? We've done a dry fit, that went successfully. All the boards was real nice and flat apart from this one. I think Jacob misaligned the biscuits on that one. You know what he's like. Anyway, gluing, biscuiting, real simple. Then we're two clamps on the bottom, 2 clamps on the top, leave it overnight, plane a bit flat where it's a bit, then give it a sand. Job's a good one. The main thing we look for when we're doing this glue up at this stage is just making sure that the bottom of the tabletop is nice and flat along the clamps, and the top the same. That's just going to reduce any work that you're going to have to do to get it flat later, and getting as much of the glue off as possible. And all the boards are nice and flush, which is good. The tops are round, and we're going to cut them with this plunger out of here. It's 2200 watts, so it's quite powerful, and we've got it mounted onto this jig here, which is just a piece of MDF, and the screw down here is placed in the center of the table, and it's screwed through the MDF into the table. This is the bottom as well, so we are going to see no screw holes, and that's at the 45 centimeter mark, 450 mil. So from this screw to the straight cut bit, what we're using here is 45 mil, and the overall size of the table is 90 centimeters, 900 mil. So whatever size table you're wanting, if you're going to use a router to cut it out, your jig just needs to be half the size of the table. What we're going to do is we're going to do it in 3 passes. So we've got a dial here which we can turn, and we've got a depth stop gauge here which we can plunge down to. So we're going to go to the highest setting, and then we're going to go around once, then we're going to plunge down to the next setting, go around again, and then final setting, we're going to plunge down again, and that's going to take us to 2/3 of the way through the table. And then what we're going to do is we're going to finish off cutting through the remainder of the material with a jigsaw. That way we're not going to get any kickback or anything like that. After we've finished with the jigsaw, we're going to be left with a little bit of a scruffy edge, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use the palm router with a bearing guided bit on there, and we're going to finish off the cut, which is going to give us a nice clean edge. And then we're going to go around again with another router, and this time we're going to have a round over bit on just to give the final finish for the table. Next we use this great big Rufus torch to put a deep burn into the tabletops. Remembering whatever you do to the top, you need to do to the bottom, otherwise you're going to get really bad cupping. So we give a light burn across the top, we turn it over, give a light burn across the bottom, and then we gradually keep spinning the boards over until we get the desired look that we're aiming for. After letting the table cool down for a few minutes, I remove any loose ash with a firm bristle brush. Next, 4 small battens was added to the underside of the table to reinforce it, and then we charred these as well just to blend them in slightly. Jacob attached 2 68 by 38mm timbers in order to glue and screw the tabletops onto. To finish the barrels and give them some protection, we added a good coat of Fiddy's wax, which was rugger brown. Next, Jacob countersinked some holes into the tabletop, making sure these was aligned perfectly symmetrical so they looked smart, and then added some black screws. The tops are going to be outside but in a covered area, but they're also going to be in a high traffic area. So we used Run Seal all weather varnish and give them 3 coats to give them a long lasting protection. Jacob's just de-nibbing with 400 grit. Actually, I think you're using 320 out your jet. Yeah. 320 in between the coats of varnish, and he's applying 3 coats of varnish. Look how nice the barrels have come out. The nice tops. Look at that. Grain's just popping lovely. He's done a great job on these. So all he's got to do now to finish off is the last coat.
It's like I'm inexperienced. Why don't we take a roll? This is how you get jacked without going to the gym. 1, 2, 3. I love the way you take it towards you. I rotate so you can put your side in. You took it away from me. It nearly fell out. I lift up and then you go, give it here. Yay!
I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, of us making some old barrels into some nice tabletops for a restaurant in their outside dining area. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon and channel membership. Cheers, guys. Bye.